2-1 FA Trophy win over AFC Sudbury this afternoon for Kingstonian. Hayden, after 87 minutes, I'd say there was a little bit of disquiet about a rotated team in such a big cup game. They weren't so much of those after 90 minutes. What do you make of this afternoon?
I think the team did very well. I think that the game should have been finished in 15 minutes. But when you play football and the game isn't finished in 15 minutes, the opponent rises in confidence, and they got deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So we had to change the shape of the side at half time. You saw that really it was almost like playing with two at the back today, because the fullbacks went so high, so the wide players could play in between the fullbacks and the centre halves, and we just make sure that the strikers weren't so flat. But you know, when you make so many changes, you have to win, because if you don't win, you leave yourself open to criticism. And I did that with my eyes open. But what everybody must understand is this is our 5th game in 13 days. That's a game every 62 hours. And, you know, there comes a point where you have to allow the players to refuel, because think of it like this. Tired legs normally result in A, substandard performances, and B, injuries. We don't want key personnel injured before next week. So that was mindful in selection, but was also mindful of the fact that these guys are here for a reason. They're here because I trust them. The personnel wasn't so much a gamble. I thought the change of shape was more of a gamble, so we worked hard on that on Thursday. But you know, if we hadn't won that game today, it would have been an absolute injustice.
Yeah, absolutely. Was it a frustration with all of that in mind then, that you did have to throw on Reece, Louis, Dan towards the end of the game?
I would have liked to have rested them for the whole game, but it's no criticism of Dan Thompson, who did particularly well first half and was unlucky not to score. It's no criticism of Callum, who took his goal really well. No criticism of Youssef, who was asking questions of the fullback. Probably then tired legs were beginning to set in, and when tired legs set in, the game becomes a little bit more stretched. So we just had to make sure we got the job done.
Out of all the players who came into the team, what most pleased you about those performances? Was there anyone who stood out?
What really pleased me was the collective. The collective that also, you know, I mean, you guys know football, and you know there are teams that profess to be passing teams, but if it's not going their way, they soon get the ball quickly from back to front. My teams don't, this team doesn't. So what pleased me most of all was there were so many key personnel changes. There was changes to the shape. We're chasing the game. It's a big game. It's a game it's a trophy that's synonymous with Kingstonian, but the team keeps playing the same way, and in doing that they got their just rewards.
Yeah, with that in mind, how pleasing is it to score a goal that late when you're beginning to wonder if it's one of those days? The fact that they kept plugging away and got that goal late, what does that tell you about the spirit in this team at the moment?
The spirit is amazing. The dressing room is superb. I've said all season they're easy to manage, but at the moment they're really easy to manage. They don't need me to motivate them, because they're very driven. They want to do well for the football club. And I think everybody in the dressing room knows that we're at the start of something special here, and we truly are.
I feel like I've asked you this question numerous times this season, but it's a reflection on success. Who do you want in the next round?
I don't know. I think this is the first round proper.
First round proper?
So the
National League come in, but it's
come.
Still regionalised. I think it's still North and South in this round.
So I think we'll go the next round. We'll stick to a more regional team again. Okay. But what I would really like to do in this competition, as we're going to do next week, I want to see the Kingstonian brand of football up against a real big hitter, because I know how good this team is. I know how good this team can be, and I want everybody to recognise how good this team is. So I want everybody to see that on the big stage.
You mentioned next week, a small matter of an FA Cup second round game. What does preparation look like for Kingstonian this week?
It would have looked a lot worse had it ended 1-1.
Yeah. Would that game have definitely taken place?
I don't know is the answer, and with the greatest respect to Sudbury, I would have been doing everything I possibly could to make sure it wasn't. But I don't know. Like, we were able to cancel the league game in preparation, so I don't know if you can win the trophy. I really don't know. But anyway, in answer to your question, we will train on Monday. really no differently to what we would train. We'll build up slowly. On Thursday, we will train a little bit more strategically in preparation to the game. We'll meet in a hotel at 6 o'clock on Friday. The players will all eat together with the football club. We'll do our first video analysis of files so everybody is understanding the strategies in the game. The players will then relax for the rest of the evening in the spa and ball, etc, etc. The team will be announced in the hotel on Saturday morning. The video analysis will be only of key moments in the game where we look at their strengths and we look in where we can exploit perhaps one or two weaknesses. And then we'll jump on the coach and the nation will see us on Football Focus.
Well, yeah, I mean, what does Football Focus, is that it's obviously incredibly exciting for the club. Is it a bit of a pain in the arse for the way you prepare on Saturday? And are there any other media stuff during the week that's going to be in and around?
Yeah, we'll be the press will be around us on Tuesday. I think the newspapers will be around us on Tuesday. Whether it's Tuesday or Thursday is not quite sure yet. Whether the media will be with us, the cameras will be filming training. The BBC will be doing that. I'd like to make it Tuesday rather than Thursday, so Thursday is a bit more of a quiet time. So it's getting the balance right. I remember in Merstham when we were in the FA Cup, the balance wasn't right, turned into a bit of a media circus, and everybody almost forgot about the game. They wanted their 15 minutes of fame, so to speak. The balance, since we beat Dartford, has been much better this time. There's been a real focus. Everybody knows their jobs. So, particularly when we get here next Saturday, we'll obviously do our media commitments, but literally from 12:30, 1 o'clock, everybody will be in the sanctuary of the dressing room, blocked away from everything, to make sure there's a big focus on winning the game, because we want to win the game and we believe we can win the game.
Ticket sales creeping up, I think close to 1,000. Probably that was before today. Probably there's been a lot of sales today as well. What is your final message for the Kingstonian fans before next Saturday?
We need you more than ever. My message to the Kingstonian fans is that the strength of Kingstonian is the unity in Kingstonian, and not for the first time today that we scored a late goal and you guys have got us over the line. Next week we're going to need you to be the 12th man even more, and I know that you'll come in your numbers and you'll support the team, you'll be vociferous in your support, and everybody hopes that it's going to be the best day at this club in a long time, and if we pull together, I really think it will be.
Second round of the FA Cup, first round of the FA Trophy, huge week coming up. Hayden, come on you guys.
Thank you very much, absolutely.